Xbox achievements give us a reason to try to go further. Sometimes. Sometimes they're just really frustrating. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 5 near impossible Xbox One achievements. At number 5 is Back for More, the achievement from the Halo Master Chief Collection. Among Halo fans, the hardest campaign mode in the entire series is unanimously considered to be in Halo 2. There's all these new annoying enemies, crazy damage rates, and the Jackal snipers. Yeah, them. They make it tempting to play through Halo 2 on Legendary difficulty, just this terrible, brain-melting, frustrating, awful slog. The campaign in Halo 2 Legendary is hard enough on its own. But what about if you turn on all the skulls? You know, those mutators you can find to do stuff like make enemies even more observant, or make your HUD, including your weapon, disappear. Fun stuff like that. Well, that's this achievement. You've got to beat Halo 2 in the Master Chief Collection with all of the 15 skulls activated. So on top of the nearly impossible campaign, you've got to deal with permanently cloaked enemies, half the normal amount of ammo from pickups, and shields that don't automatically refill. You have to melee stuff to recharge your shields. This is not fun. It is work, brutal, back-breaking labor in the virtual sense. Hell, one of the legitimate suggestions I see for people online is to put a sticky note on your TV where the reticule is, so you can aim with the invisible HUD. Like, it's that wild. I mean, to be fair, that's a good suggestion, but seriously, this is super hard. I've tried it and failed. I'm probably not going to try it again either. At number 4, the Masterminds achievement in Grand Theft Auto 5. This is a nasty achievement that combines a huge amount of possible points of failure with an already super challenging objective. In Grand Theft Auto Online, there are these big multiple-person missions called heists. They're long, there's a ton of setup, and they can be pretty tough to complete. One of the longest and arguably the hardest to finish is the Doomsday Heist. To actually get this achievement, you need to complete all the criminal mastermind challenges for the Doomsday Heist, which means you have to beat it with the same team of 2, then 3, then 4 players on the hard difficulty without losing any lives on setups or finales. So beating the heist without dying with the same team, that's hard enough under perfect conditions. But there are so many little things that might make it so even if you thought you did everything right, you don't get the achievement for whatever reason. Starting with a couple of obvious problems. If one of your teammates gets disconnected, everyone should just reset. Sometimes disconnecting makes the achievement fail, so that's really cool, right? Considering these heists can be multi-hour ordeals, you're going to want to make sure you and your friends have stable connections before you even attempt them, because if this is the reason you don't get it, it's easily the most frustrating. No question. Oh yeah, and if you feel like skipping some steps of the heist or doing them in a manner that's not exactly as set out, like, let's say, buying vehicles instead of acquiring them as part of the mission, no, that's a failure. You failed. If you want this achievement, you have to do absolutely everything in the heist, and there is no getting around it. Another serious irritant, look out for server issues. You want to avoid public lobbies like the plague when you're playing this thing, because sometimes you might lose progress by just being in a public lobby. You don't even have to get disconnected. Sometimes server hangups are enough. And of course, you have to be on a public server for at least part of the heist. So there's really no surefire way to completely avoid your progress getting reset by accident. On top of all that, sync issues can severely impact your progress because sometimes GTA Online will split your friends into different servers for basically no reason. So if you want to be absolutely sure you get together, you'll want to form an organization and make sure the guy hosting the game is the leader and everyone else is a bodyguard. Basically, this achievement's really hard on its own. But throw in all of the random server issues, bugs, and stuff that you can get from GTA Online, and it's basically impossible. I mean, people do it, but it's very frustrating. And number 3 is the Stampers Forever achievement on Rare Replay. Rare, of course, the masters of the collectathon genre. They went a little bit too far on this one. To earn this achievement, you have to get every stamp in the entire Rare Replay connection. That is 330 stamps total. To get all those stamps, you need to play through 30 games. Games from the ZX Spectrum era to the Xbox 360 era. And remember, you don't just have to play them. You pretty much have to beat them. all of them. On top of that, you have to collect the special playlists, which are all unique challenges created using parts of Rare's pre-Nintendo 64 games. They're not all that bad, except for one, the Infinite Turbo Tunnel. If you remember the Turbo Tunnel from Battletoads for the NES, it's that, except for it goes on forever. You only have to survive for 45 seconds, but if you've ever seen this thing, surviving for 10 seconds is a big ask. And when you do 45 seconds, it's nearly impossible. And on top of all that, just finishing the games isn't enough. You have to get 75% of the achievements in the ones that you can actually get achievements for, which counts for basically all their games from the Nintendo 64 onward. Sure, it's not so bad getting achievements in their awesome games like Perfect Dark or Conker's Bad Fur Day, but you have to play through all of them. So that means stuff like Grabbed by the Ghoulies. Does anyone remember Grabbed by the Ghoulies? And then there's what they do in Perfect Dark Zero, which is making you pick your poison. Do you get 75% of achievements in the game playing through the incredibly frustrating Dark Agent difficulty? Or do you want to grind for hours against bots to get all the multiplayer achievements? Hell, for Viva Pinata Trouble in Paradise, if you don't have the original 360 game and this dumb peripheral called the Vision Camera, there's an achievement you cannot get. Stampers Forever is pure pain, no matter how you look at it. Oh, and before anyone in the comments yells at us for not mentioning this, the achievement name Stampers Forever is a reference to the Stamper Brothers, who are the founders of Ultimate Play the Game and Rare Limited. Moving on to number 2, Be Aggressive, Devious. An achievement from Gears 5. Now, you've seen lists like this in the past. You've probably seen the infamous Seriously achievement that pops up in every Gears of War game. Gears 5 has Seriously 5.0 Chapter 1, which requires you to complete the insane campaign, the Master Horde, and escape launch maps and characters, get 20 re-ups, reach General in a tour of duty. So basically do everything in the game. But this achievement is worse. Why? Because it's tedious. Like, it is so tedious. Here's the description. Re-up 30 times. Sounds pretty straightforward, but let's break it down. Re-upping in Gears of War is basically the same thing as prestige levels in a Call of Duty game. When you reach max level in multiplayer, you can re-up, resetting your level back to 1, and allowing you to get some pretty lame exclusive rewards. Every time you re-up, the amount of experience you have to get in order to level up goes up exponentially. Here's a simple way to explain how painful it is to actually re-up 30 times. Remember, one of the requirements to get the Seriously achievement in this game is that you have to re-up 20 times. When doing that, the amount of experience required to re-up increases so much that by the time you've re-upped 16 times, you're still only halfway to re-upping 20 times. And remember, the first re-up is dozens of hours in multiplayer, so getting to 20 is a huge slog. But getting to 30. By re-up 16, you are only 1/3 of the way there. 1/3! Just take that 100 plus hours you spent grinding and just multiply it by 3. It takes a special achievement to be worse than Seriously, but they found a way. And finally at number 1 is 'Tis But a Scratch from Kingdom Come Deliverance. Kingdom Come is already a pretty hardcore Middle Ages simulator, but this achievement really just it goes above and beyond. For this one, you gotta beat the game in hardcore difficulty with all of the negative perks. Hardcore is nasty enough. The game doesn't autosave, ever, there's no fast travel, and there's no player icon on the map. You'd think this would be a minor thing, but just imagine playing Witcher 3 without a map or any waypoints or anything like that. That's what hardcore mode is. Oh, and you don't get your health and stamina meters on the HUD either. Of course, the worst thing about this are the negative perks. They make everything way harder. Like consumption, that makes you have less stamina and it regenerates really slowly. Or hemophilia, where you get the bleed status effect after pretty much any attack. Oops, minor cut, bleeding to death. That sucks. And this isn't one of those games where bleeding is just kind of annoying either. Just in case you haven't played. If you don't stop the bleeding, you can literally die from one attack in a matter of seconds. Just getting through the opening sections of the game with these perks is nearly impossible. You basically die if someone looks at you funny. Remember, there is no autosave in this mode, and all saving is done manually by either resting in a bed, and it has to be a bed you own. You can't just sleep in any bed. That's weird. People regard that behavior as weird. You can go for hours without being able to save in this mode, and that means one slip up dumps all that progress. You bleed that progress out from a minor wound. If you really want to experience the hardships of the Middle Ages, maybe just try living in the woods for a year. It would be easier than getting this achievement. Lest you think we skimp, we have bonus impossible achievement for you. It's Work Complete from NBA 2K18. Is there a game series with more bugged out achievements than NBA 2K? I'll answer for you. No, there is not. A reliable topic of discussion for this series is complaining about how an achievement or trophy is not working properly. Hey, guess what? It's not unlocking even though I completed all the requirements for it. Yay! This one in particular is truly ridiculous because I was only able to find one person who has actually claimed to finish it. And it involves doing basically everything in the game's My Career mode, but they still didn't actually get it because the achievement is glitched. Like, imagine being the only person on Earth to actually take the time to get this crazy achievement and then even write up a guide for it, only to not actually get it because the game doesn't actually work right. Like, I feel that's nearly the equivalent of somebody from 2K Games just showing up at your house, waking you up way too early, and then squirting lemon juice in your eyes, blowing an air horn, and then leaving. Remember, one of the things you have to do to complete this is defeat all 30 teams' schedules, which means you have to play 900 games. And that's just one of the many things on the checklist you have to finish. I think nothing better sums this whole thing up than Tonba77's statement at the end of his guide. This mode is the biggest troll and joke 2K has ever done. The cherry on the top of this shit sundae is when 2K19 launched, they dropped support for all the challenges in 2K18. So now it's not just a glitchy achievement and nearly impossible, it's also literally impossible. You cannot do it. So don't try to do it because you think like it would be cool to show us you did it. You can't. You cannot do it. And that's it for today. Lordy, what a frustrating list, huh? Which one drove you the most nuts? Either to try or to hear about? Leave us a comment, let us know what you think. If you like this video, please click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. The best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe, and don't forget to enable all notifications. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at FalconTheHero, and we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.